This is the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius, published in 1945 by Walter J. Black for the Classics Club. The Classics Club was a monthly subscription that would send its subscribers one book every month, I believe, and it would send a book that looks exactly like this, but with different content and a different title on the spine. This book is bound in this nice gray cloth. It's a bit dull, but it has a different shade throughout. You can see dark and light. It's not just one even color. And it's not too smooth, but not too rough either. It's got a nice texture in the hands. We have a logo on the front. It's CC for Classics Club on a red background in gold foil with a little gold foil ring around it as well. It looks a lot like a wax stamp, in my opinion at least. The spine has the title and author's name in gold foil on this red background, and then we get a few extra gold foil accents with Classics Club on the spine. The back cover is left plain, but we get to see more of that cloth, which feels quite nice. The top edge is sprayed in this nice red, which matches the spine and front cover. The side and bottom edges are trimmed, but not sprayed. The end bands are this red and yellow, which matches with the accents of the book quite nice. The end papers are this plain cream color, printed on a very standard cardstock. The paper of the book itself is nothing special. It's what you would expect from a book from 1945. This book has an introduction from Erwin Edman, and I do know that this translation is by George Long. As you can see, it was published for the Classics Club by Walter J. Black in New York, and it was printed in 1945. This book does not just contain meditations. In fact, meditations is only about the first 1/3 to 1/2 of the book, and we have these two other parts, which are Lucian of Samosata and Justin Martyr. We have the little introduction right here, and at the end of this introduction, it tells us that the translation is by George Long. Many people think that this translation is quite outdated. I've read it, and it definitely has a lot of confusing parts, but it's still readable for the most part. The meditations begin here on page 11, and they go to about page 130. There's the beginning of the second part. Well, not the second part, but it's no longer meditations. There's part 2, and part 3 is somewhere in there. But I'm sure most readers only care about this first part right here. As you can see, it makes up about half of the book. There's no illustrations in this book because it's so old and because the content doesn't really need illustrations. And the back end papers are the same as the front. This book does have a nice old smell to it. It does smell like it's been in a smoker's home, but somehow that cigarette smoke gives it a nice smell. But that's all for this book in particular. Thank you very much.